2 weeks in a row.
I know.
The streak continues.
And this time at the normal time.
I know. Oh my God, my life's gotten so much better since I switched up my times on my shifts.
Yeah.
It's glorious. It really is. It's like I have so much of a day left. It's what it feels like, to be honest with you. So, yeah. It's kind of nice that when you see 3 o'clock hit on the clock, you're like, oh, thank God I don't have 4 more hours.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Because I'm sure you were getting up at the same time as you are with the normal shift, right?
Well, it depended on the day, to be honest with you. Some days I would get up at a normal time, and then I'd just do chores, to kill the time between that now and when I had to log in, or help get kids out of the house where they needed to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd wake up, do a few things, be like, well, I'm kind of done. I'm just gonna go back to bed for a little bit. And then what got really bad was for a while there, I had my sleep schedule change a little bit, where I was getting up, closer to the time my shift started. So
yeah,
I'd be sleeping in. And then, of course, with school that was coming around, I can't sleep in that late. It would not be plausible. So I had them switch that up for me. Luckily, they agreed to it. And, yeah, look at us. We're on way earlier than we never are. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, yeah, because I was going to be a little bit later, but then Erin got home and she was in the car as I was walking out. She's like, I'm already in the car. Do you want me to go? I'm like, yes. And we'll start earlier.
Why would I say no to this?
Yeah. Well, because normally when he has soccer practice, I would sit there and read.
Yeah.
But with his old team, that was a 30-minute drive to practice. Now it's 10 minutes away.
Yeah. Not too bad there. So,
yeah.
I wanted to... Oh, we'll hold on first. Beer. What beer we got tonight?
All right, I got another one from Alpha Brewing. They're downtown. You'll get a kick out of this. It's an American Pale Ale called I Have the Sipster, and it's got this generic-looking He-Man. Instead of holding the sword, he's holding a pint glass, and he's got a dinosaur behind him, someone that looks like Jen from Gem and the Holograms, and a samurai-looking raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an interesting can, so that's the whole reason I got it. Yeah.
All right.
So,
nice.
Yeah, American Pale Ale, 6% ABV. I'd give it 3.5 on a 5.
Okay. 3.5, not bad.
No.
So, but that's a St. Louis brewery, right? If I heard you correctly. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I also tried to load this clip you sent me, about the 22 announcements at Marvel, for Marvel from Comic-Con. I can't get to load. Nothing is coming up.
It might be
was
gone.
Was there anything on there that was different than what we'd already discussed?
No, I think we covered everything last time with it.
Okay. All right.
It was just everything in one place that made it easy to find.
So before we get really rolling into the nerdy stuff, I didn't ghost you on your text about, hey, you said, hey, text me after you watched Punk and Drew. Right? Punk and McIntyre, right?
Yep.
From SummerSlam.
Yep.
And I actually just got around to watching it last night. So I'm telling you, I pretty much for SummerSlam, I watched a match one night, watched another match. Like I couldn't sit down and watch consecutive matches, right? Until last night when I watched, I think I watched the Gunther match. I watched the McIntyre and Punk match, and I watched the Cody and Solo match. So I don't want to give you my opinion. I want to know why you wanted my opinion on the match, because, I guess I will give you my opinion. I don't think it was anything to, what's the phrase, scream home about or whatever.
Yeah.
It was about as bland a match as it could be in regards to how great the build-up was. The build-up was fantastic.
Right.
That's where WWE, I think, really does super well, is the build-up to the premium live events, as we'll call them, the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I love the build-up. I thought it was fantastic. But I wanted to get your opinion about why I'm curious what you thought, because I know you're a big Punk fan, and it was his first time back in a match in WWE over like 10 years or something like that, I think is what they said.
Yeah. So I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I think they're being careful with him because, this is his first televised match since Royal Rumble. And just like his first match in AEW, I don't think his conditioning's all the way there yet. So I think they had to play some things safe. But the reason I was asking you about that is I just sent you a meme.
Okay.
And it's Punk with Tony Schiavone at AEW, and it says technically Punk never lost the AEW title. He had the unofficial world title, and that was like the Collision title, and he would defend it. So that title's still sitting out there, and I believe he has it with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's never been pinned or submitted, but he lost at SummerSlam, making Drew McIntyre the rightful and new AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
I see the meme, but it was not a sanctioned championship match.
No, that's true.
So that's the only thing I'll throw out there. But yes, it's pretty funny, and I think it would be hilarious because Collision was, from what you told me, Collision was created just to appease him. It was his show. It was basically his booking, I guess. Correct? Is what Punk was supposed to be booking. Collision?
No, I don't think he was booking it, but he had a lot of creative control on it.
Okay.
And so he had say on who could be there and who couldn't.
Okay.
And so, that led to the whole thing with Jack Perry, because Jack Perry was going to use some real glass for a segment, and CM Punk said, we don't do that on Saturday nights.
Okay.
And then that led to their little feud. Which, by the way, a couple weeks ago, Drew McIntyre took a selfie with Jack Perry.
Yes, which I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, that was great too. And then you haven't watched Raw yet.
I'm watching Raw right now.
Okay.
I'm about 20 minutes in. And of course, it's the Raw after a pay-per-view, which is always the best.
Yeah.
Pay-per-views, or Raws. So don't spoil it. Just tell me whatever you want to say. Just don't spoil it. No spoilers. So there you go.
No, it's Seth Rollins comes out in a Hangman jacket.
No way.
Black with like the tassels hanging from it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know Punk's. They talked it out, and Punk doesn't have a problem with it, or else it'd be backstage drama.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm behind actually on AEW. I don't think I watched last week's Dynamite, and I'm sure. Did you watch last night's?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. The week before, I love what they're doing with MJF and Ospreay. Because anything MJF is going to do, it's going to be the best thing they got going.
Yeah. In
my opinion. I'm just trying to think of where I left. Where's my last episode? And I will also say this. I am caught up on Dynamite. I just need to watch last night's Dynamite.
Okay.
I don't want to click on it to start it. I just want to click on it to see what was the card for last night. So it was Danielson, Jarrett, come on. This is very WCW with all the old guys. They're using so many old guys. They have so much young talent. Just let the young talent develop.
I'm kind of the same way with Jarrett, but the way they've been using him, he's just putting people over.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's paid his dues. He's now like passing it on to the next generation.
Yeah. I agree with you. I guess Swerve just didn't work out in WWE. I'm glad he found a home here because Swerve's too good to not be a main Carter.
Yeah.
I think right now. I think he's really good on the mic. He's got a good gimmick going with Prince Chakaka, whatever his name is.
Prince Nana.
Nana Chaka, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I know you're not. I think you said it once before where you're saying Briscoe, he's good in doses, but you'll get sick of him at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sick of Briscoe yet. I kind of dig in the whole thing that he does now. He's fun.
Him and O'Reilly together are just great.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Because O'Reilly's looking at the camera and then looks at him and going back and forth. I crack up every time they're on together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I guess you're okay with him now, but you're saying, hey, wait for it because it will grow or will wear on you after a while, I guess.
Yeah. And maybe it was having him with his brother and just the double dose of it.
Oh, see, because his brother passed away, though, correct?
Right. He died in a car accident a little over a year ago.
Okay. So just a freak accident, or was it like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was...
Or is it he was on drugs because of the pain, and it's just one of those dark side of the ring things, or just freak accident?
Just a freak car accident killed him, and he had his two daughters. They were coming back from a 12-hour gymnastics competition.
Oh, no, and the girls passed, too?
No, the girls survived.
Thank God.
They've had a lot of surgeries and a lot of rehabbing, but they survived. Because they've been on Dynamite when they've done like the big family stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I will say this, that I'm also super behind on Collision. I know that you're pretty good about trying to keep up with all of it, and I just can't, man.
Yeah.
I try my best, but there's a lot of stuff on Collision and Rampage that it's just, if you agree with me or not, I think it's the lower card stuff, and it's just not as good.
Yeah.
And I'll make time for Dynamite, obviously, because it's the main show, but man, it's just. I don't know the Bang Bang Gang. I don't know whatever the name of this guy that's with him. I just don't get it. I don't like that guy.
Juice.
I can't stand that guy.
Oh, I love Juice.
I'm not a Juice guy. Christian Cage is always going to be fun no matter what, as long as he's a heel. If they ever try to make him turn face, that'll be awful. That would be a waste of his talent.
I don't know how they'd be able to do that unless it's with Edge and it's their last tag team run.
And I'm going to click on this one. I don't want it to start, but I do want it to. I like clicking on these things. What I like about their app or the website is they'll give you a little bit of the card that occurred that evening. Orange Cassidy against Johnny TV. So again, I'm not a Johnny TV guy. I don't know. Yeah. He's not doing anything for me. And after here, I'll pause it. Yeah, see, I didn't mean for it to load. I just wanted to read the card.
That one was a few weeks ago.
July 27 was that one.
Okay.
I did watch the July 13th Collision.
Mm-hmm.
It was Teneshke versus Kid Dynamite.
Yeah.
Kid Dynamite.
Yeah.
I watched that match. I was trying to see. Usually they give you the picture of the main event on the slide on the website.
Yeah.
But the Collision one for the 27th has just about every person on the roster on there. Hell, it even has Miro on there. And Miro's retired or something at this point. He doesn't ever wrestle anymore, does he?
No, they just haven't done anything with them. They had some stories they wanted to do with them, and he shot them down. So they're like, all right, you're just going to wait until we have something for you.
Okay. Because then I'm seeing something here that I love. This is a great... It's a new guy that's with Roosh. It's some guy with a bull mask on, I guess. I don't know what the mask is awesome.
Yeah.
He's a creepy looking dude, and he's pretty powerful.
I can't think of his name.
But it's the Roderick Strong faction, which I don't know who they are. It's all Ring of Honor, I guess, because that's where Roderick came from, I guess, right?
He was in NXT for a long time, too.
Okay. I'm not I think you said you're okay with him. I can't stand him. I don't think he brings nothing to his mic skills don't do anything for me. His in-ring skills don't do anything for me. I'm just not a Roderick guy.
Yeah.
I think people like working with him because I think he's technically sound.
Yes.
But he doesn't do anything for me. He's trying so hard to be a good heel, and he sucks at being a heel, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because when he came back there, he helped Adam Cole in the Jericho feud.
Okay.
And he was kind of a face there and turned heel when Adam Cole did.
Okay. Which, is he ever going to come back?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's starting to work out. He hasn't been cleared yet, though.
Okay. But no, the last Collision, I love this card. I'd skip most of it just to watch this match. It's FTR, Briscoe, and Darby together.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. That's a good group right there. So did you watch that match, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I did. It's been a few weeks, so I don't remember much about it. FTR team...
It was just this past Saturday.
Oh, was it this past... I don't think I watched this one.
August 3rd was that one.
Okay, that one hasn't loaded on my DVR or the on-demand on there, so...
Okay.
I've not watched that one.
So there's that one. Let's do this. Since it's kind of wrestling heavy, if you're cool with that,
yeah.
Want to go over the SummerSlam card real quick and give our thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm into right now.
Yeah.
I honestly don't have a lot of homework because I don't think I really watched anything this week. There's a lot of wrestling, getting caught up on that, and then a lot of reading, just trying to read as much as I can to get through something. Because I do have a book I want to share with you. Not in that, because of course if it don't have pictures in it, I'm not really reading it.
Yeah.
But I just want to go over this real quick.
Okay.
SummerSlam, what I liked about SummerSlam is outdoors. It was pretty cool.
Yes.
It was pretty cool outdoors because I know WrestleMania was, but what is it about SummerSlam draw versus a WrestleMania draw? Because I know WrestleMania's a whole weekend event and they spread it out over 2 nights now.
It's technically 3 nights because they do Hall of Fame on Friday night and then
correct.
Yeah.
But what is it about that draw, I guess?
I don't know. It's their second biggest pay-per-view. Right. And actually, 2 years from...
Royal Rumble would be their number 2. I would always think... Because Rumble's so fun. The Rumble is so fun, man.
Yeah, but I think it's... that's like the beginning of WrestleMania season.
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of the kickoff of it. This is the one they're kind of pushing for a big summer thing. And actually, 2 years from now, it's going to 2 nights.
and this is from memory.
Mm-hmm.
I think these are the big pay-per-views I always remembered as a kid, and again, since I'm trying to get back into a little bit more on the WWE side, I mean, the granddaddy of them all is WrestleMania. That's
Right.
your Super Bowl.
Yep.
SummerSlam,
Yep.
Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and Survivor Series, if I'm thinking correctly, right?
Yeah.
Were those always those were the big pay-per-views every year? What am I missing?
So they do Elimination Chamber every year now.
Okay. And Money in the Bank's a big one now. I kind of consider that kind of a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, they have a monthly pay-per-view, so...
Oh, well, yeah, because, I mean, they're doing... The newest one will be, Bash at Berlin, which I'm kind of hyped about anything overseas right now. Because, the one that was in... Was it Saudi Arabia, I think, was the one...
That was the most recent one.
Middle East.
But that one in France...
Oh, my God.
That crowd was crazy.
So awesome. That was so awesome. The Clash at the Castle was rocking, too.
Yeah.
And even when you're not there, you can still feel the energy from the crowd. And the crowd could... Because, what was it, you and I that were talking about it? Or was it something I read somewhere, or was it a Reddit post or something like that? Does the crowd... when you're not there watching TV, does the crowd impact your viewing enjoyment? I said, hell yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I was so into Backlash in Lyon, France, because the crowd was fantastic. And it makes or breaks a show. It really does. Because what sucks about some of these things that are here in the States is that I guess we're so spoiled because it's always here and you can always go often, is sometimes these crowds are just quiet.
Yeah.
And it makes it a bummer to watch sometimes, some of these matches.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the wrestlers feed off that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're going to be there, I mean, be rowdy and get them hyped up, and they'll put on a better performance.
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So I'm going to try to do this by memory about the right order of which these happen. Leading off with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Nice way to lead off.
Yes, it was.
I think I texted that you right away. That was a hell of a match.
It was. They're both great performers.
They are. Liv Morgan is... I feel as though at some points I feel like she's biding her time until she can make her splash, try to make the switch to Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
And maybe get some acting roles. I just don't think she's got the chops for it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's beautiful enough. She's a very pretty girl, but I just don't think she has the acting chops whatsoever, to be honest. That's just my thoughts on it. And Ripley's just so niche, I'll say, sorry. I think this is what she likes. I think she enjoys the wrestling business. I mean, tell she married a wrestler, right, too?
Yeah.
So
she's like the modern day China almost.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Sure.
But she's more skilled. She's better in the ring, and she can talk in the mic.
Yeah, she's awesome on the mic, actually.
Yeah.
The thing I'll say about this is the fall of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of it.
Yep.
And we'll get to the last part of it. It was a great match. I liked it. You could see... it wasn't like what happened at the end we didn't see coming with the turn from Dominic, which
they've been teasing forever.
For sure, yeah. And again, I like AEW. I think the performers are amazing. I think the wrestlers there wrestle at a very high level. Although I do feel like these smaller guys like Jack Perry and Darby, they're going to die in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I feel like they're going to die because they put their bodies through way too much. They're taking bumps that are just not natural.
Yeah.
Where they struggle is the storytelling. They really do. And long-term storytelling, except for, like you said, Hangman, which I swear to God, if this deal with HBO goes down, it'll be awesome so I can go back and watch the catalog.
Yeah. So I will say AEW had, the first 2 years totally scripted out, and everything was awesome. But once they got to Hangman winning the championship, it seemed like they didn't have anything else planned.
Yeah.
And that killed his title run. It killed Jurassic Express's title holders. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're just now starting to recover from it.
I'm still waiting for some long-term story. Because, okay, we know they want to push Ospreay because they paid Ospreay a lot of money to come here and do his weekly thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's the dude wrestles. He wrestles, and he's a performer that everyone wants to watch. But there's no story there. The MJF thing, there's just no story. They're trying to force it instead of just let it develop.
Yeah.
And I think they're rushing. They have to rush to it, which I'm like, well, you didn't really need to rush because Wembley is so far off at All In. They had time to build a story, and I still feel like they've done it.
Yeah.
I think they're going, okay, these two good wrestlers are going to fight, and I'm like, you're wasting MJF. And he has to have time to build a story.
And see, what really sucks is they had this perfect thing with Adam Cole, and then Cole had that freak injury.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of, they didn't know what to do, and they just dragged and dragged and dragged.
So I just think that's where they struggle a little bit. But all right, let's. I think next match on the card was Breaker versus Zayn. And how did you feel about them? Because Zayn wasn't a title holder for very long.
No.
A couple of months maybe at the most.
Yeah, he beat Gunther at Royal Rumble.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought he would have kept the title a little longer and they would have seasoned Braun a little bit more, but I have no problem with it. He's a beast.
Braun is, he is a beast, and he's got to be careful too, because I can see him injuring himself sometimes.
Yeah,
because I think he needs to work on his selling a little bit.
Yeah,
I think he needs to do that, and his mic skills are fine. I didn't know he had decent mic skills. They're not bad.
Yeah, they're fine.
He's not as bad as his uncle.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Steiner Math is one of the greatest promos ever.
But I'm okay with it. He's a star. He's a superstar.
Oh yeah,
he fits the mold. They're lucky. I think they're lucky to have him. I think he's a good. He'll be around for quite a while.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think him and Dragunov could be head to head for a long time, because I think they just put on great matches every single time.
Oh yeah.
The only problem with Dragunov is I think he suffers from kind of like the Jack Perry, Darby thing, where he's just smaller.
Yep.
He's just a smaller guy, but he's awesome to watch. I love it. He puts on a great show. He could sell like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You want to watch somebody that can sell. He can sell really well.
Which is funny because they have Carmelo Hayes up, and he's not getting the push like they are. You don't get to see him in those type of matches where he's that same caliber, and the stuff they were doing in NXT together was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting. You got to think that Trick's coming up at some point, right? I'm
surprised he hasn't been up already with Ego taking the title from him.
I thought that would make sense. I think we discussed that. That's why they did strip him, because they were ready to move him to the main roster. Maybe he's got an injury of some kind that we're unaware of, or has he been performing?
No, he's still wrestled.
He's performing. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, but yeah, I have no problem. Great. It was an okay match.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't long. It was only like 7 or 8 minutes. So
yeah. If they wanted to, his model's almost a Goldberg model, to be honest with you. Because his matches don't need to be long, because he's so powerful and so fast. Just put him away pretty quick. Just don't make him squash matches. You make him work a little bit. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think next match up was that Logan. I think that was Logan Paul, LA Knight.
Yeah, I'm so glad they took the title off Logan Paul. The dude, he can perform in the ring. He's just such a douche.
I know. Here's the thing. I know. I've never listened to one of his podcasts. I've never seen a clip from any of his YouTube stuff. I know nothing, because I know there's brothers. There's him and his brother. There's Logan and something Paul. There's Jake Paul. So Jake's the boxer.
Yes.
He's the wrestler.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Or did they both box at one point?
I don't know if Logan did. He might have.
Okay. Because here's the thing I'll say about Logan Paul. Decent heel.
Yeah.
He can obviously perform in the mic, because that's what he does. He talks. He does a podcast.
Yeah.
He made a great living off being a podcaster. He's good. He's the best compliment I can give him that I've heard from a lot of places on the internet is he's way better than he should be.
Oh yeah.
he's athletic. He's more athletic than you could probably give him credit for. The guy can wrestle.
Yep.
And did he even go through formal training of any kind, or did he just somehow come out wrestling? Because don't they have to go to the powerful? No, well, not the powerful. That's WCW. What's the
Performance Center?
Yeah, they got to go do something to get training. Did he ever do that?
I have no clue. I'm sure he spent time at the Performance Center.
Okay.
But I don't know.
But the fact that he could do what he does,
it's unreal.
With as little training he's probably had, that's pretty impressive as well. I'll give him for that.
I mean, seeing him and Ricochet get on the ropes on opposite sides of the ring and jump and like dual clothesline each other midair was unreal.
Yeah. And he's got acrobatics to his wrestling too.
Yes.
That's what's so crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just an athletic kid. I don't know what he did as who knows? I don't know if he had if he was like a baseball, or did he play normal, like non professional wrestling. What did he do? I don't know his background to even know any of that stuff.
I don't either, and I have no interest in looking at his background.
Yeah, for sure. But now LA Knight, I don't know enough about him. I like his music. I like his entrance music. He's got a good look. His mic skills.
He's been so over on the crowd with the crowd. He's got great mic skills.
He does. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't watch SmackDown. I need to get around to finding time to.
It's probably my least favorite of all the wrestling shows right now.
Really, SmackDown's no good.
Yeah, and they have the Bloodline story, and that's pretty much it.
And we'll see that Cody's over there. Randy's over there, which I'd love to watch Randy more often. Kevin Owens is over there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
But they've all been in the Bloodline story.
Okay. And see, I wish there wasn't this split where I had to be... Because that's what is nice about AEW. Use the split show, the other show for your other card, or, for your lower card stuff, just to try to farm them in.
Yeah.
Why would you have your big hitters over on SmackDown on a Friday night?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But yeah, I guess they know what they're doing. So
yeah, it's worked for them.
I guess. Yeah, it's just me. It's my problem. If I want to be able to watch it, I gotta find time to do it.
So
I think.
On Logan Paul, he was supposed to go to. They did shows in Japan, and he declined them because he's not welcome in Japan.
Oh wow.
He was doing a vlog, and went to this place called the Suicide Forest where people are known to go in and like kill themselves. Mm-hmm. And he walked in there with a camera and like showing the dead bodies.
Oh wow.
And so he got a lot of heat for that. And then so they're like, he's like, I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
What a douche. Anyway, I think after that was the Bayley Nia Jax match, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
Talk about two women wrestlers that I could care less about. They don't move the needle for me, dude. They just don't. I don't care about. I don't get the fascination with the crowd for Bayley. I don't like Bayley. I don't like Nia. I don't like or hate Nia. She's just too big for these other female wrestlers. I mean, if she wants to match up with Jade, unless that's what they're building towards, sure. But there's nobody else on that roster that can physically do anything with her at all.
So Bayley had a great NXT run.
Okay.
She's been very popular. She's gotten over with the crowd. Nia Jax, on the other hand, is like known for injuring other wrestlers. She's just sloppy.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a fan of hers. I didn't like the fact they brought her back after letting her go.
Oh.
But she's in with Triple H, so it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think they're going to put her with Jade either, because Jade is so raw and
they would end up hurting each other.
Yeah. Well, and apparently WWE is second guessing Jade because she's not progressing like they were hoping.
No, and anyone that watched AEW could have told them that.
Yeah,
they could have told them that really quick. She just needs a lot more work.
She needed time in NXT. Yeah, but they wanted to capitalize on. Look, this is the first one coming over from AEW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well.
But the bright spot of that was Tiffany Stratton coming out.
Yeah.
Because I think she's going to be probably Becky Lynch level.
Okay. Oh, you think so?
I do.
I'm trying to think. I just think Liv and Rhea they're the top of when you throw Becky in there. I think those are your top three in the women's roster.
Yep.
Although I do enjoy the two Japanese wrestlers, Io and whatever her name is, Kairi, whatever. I like them a lot.
Kairi Sane, and then you haven't even got to see much of Asuka. Asuka's awesome.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen her at all.
Yeah, she's part of that faction too.
Okay. Is she injured?
I think so.
Okay. Then I think it was Priest Gunter at that point, and
man, they just beat the crap out of each other.
They did beat the crap out of each other. It was a good match. Priest doesn't move the needle for me at all. You know, I'm a big Gunter. I'm very pro Gunter. I like the fact that someone made this point online that I read was Gunter is not face nor is he heel.
Yeah,
he is anti-hero. He's a total anti-hero, because even when on Raw when it opened, I think people respect what he does in the ring so much. I think he's trying to be a heel, but they're like, yeah, we like you as a heel. We like you. You're like, it's like MJF. You're our scumbag. You could be a heel, but we like you a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. When he would come out with Imperium, it made him a little more of a heel because those other guys that were with him are just
super douchey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what happened to the other guy? They just cut him completely?
No, they dropped him from Imperium. I think his name was Vinci, something like that.
I just know this Kaiser and him. Yeah. There's just two people. I don't think you'd have a faction with just two people.
Yeah.
was what I find awkward about the whole thing.
Hey, it works for him.
They need to recruit, I guess.
Yeah.
To try to find somebody to join up with them.
Hey,
but no, great match.
If this was
a great, I think he's. I think you said you did watch Raw, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I love Randy versus Gunther. I think that's great.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be a really fun match.
Well, their match at leading up to
at the Rumble, or was that King of the Ring, or no, the Royal Rumble, right?
I don't remember what it was now. They had some kind of tournament.
It was the King of the Ring.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, King of the Ring tournament. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a great match, and it ended under controversy. So I'm glad they're playing up that aspect.
Hell yeah, yep, smart, very smart to do that. And it's just, I mean, Randy's just a great worker.
Oh yeah.
How much longer do you think he's got doing this?
I don't know.
He looks so good. He's probably what our age, somewhere. He's probably early 40s, something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So he looks incredible. He still moves well. I mean, he could probably be doing this as long as he wants, but I don't know if that's what his plans are.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that I pretty much missed his career, even though he's been here forever.
Yeah.
I missed his entire career for the most part. I hope I get to see him a lot more.
He's 44.
For a while here. He's 44.
Yeah. He's got 6 years.
If he wants, he can quit right now and be fine. You know what I'm sure he's got enough to be fine, but it would be a shame. I guess with the Peacock app, maybe hopefully there's something where I could watch a Randy library of some kind, because that's what I think would be smart. I've never really dug too much into the Peacock library in regards to, do they do it by wrestler? Like you could watch a history of them and maybe some important matches along the way.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think that would be smart.
Yeah.
If that's what I would do from a creative standpoint. If I were like, hey, the archives matter. Like some people, because it's like comics. We've always compared wrestling to comic books because they're so similar. If you ever want to go get caught up on a character that you like, well, that's what you do. You go buy the back issue.
Yeah.
You go to the library and read the old stuff,
so
that you can get current with the current stuff. It's so like comic books.
Or if you want to go back,
I think that's what's with wrestling. That's hard unless it's on YouTube. Unless you can find it on YouTube somehow.
And you can, but the nice thing about having it all on Peacock too is you can go back and watch old pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this was the match where he broke out. Let's go see it.
Okay. Yeah. And I think what we can kind of segue to this, either from a Marvel, DC, WWE, AEW, as far as your libraries, you got to make it easier for your fans to get caught up.
Yep.
And I think they suffer big time. I think all of these companies suffer big time by not catering to their audience better for that. Because I think if you were to kind of categorize a fan of comics or wrestling or, collecting of any kind, collectors, they're completionists.
Yeah.
They want to know that if they're into it, they want to be into it and they want to know the history. They want to be able to go back and then get caught up. And then the problem is trying to get caught up is a bastard thing to do. So what you do is you stay current as much as you can, but that doesn't mean you want to spend some other time going back into the history books and going back and try to fill in your gaps, right? We always talk about filling gaps.
Yep.
And I think they could all take a lesson from one another to figure out how to kind of cater to their customers better that way.
So I think comic is ahead of wrestling because the big two at least have their apps where you can go back and do that.
They have it. The material is there, but as far as having a presentation that's easier to navigate, I think.
Yeah.
I think they could work on that a lot.
Yeah.
Like making reading orders that make sense. Going, hey, because I think the problem I have as a comic reader that you don't suffer from as much is once I find a reading order, I want to stick to that order because you told me it was important.
Yeah.
I don't skip it. And I think where I get caught up is I feel like I have to read everything and get caught up with everything versus you're pretty good about, yeah, didn't need to read that. Just go here, read this. This is what was good. Screw all the outside books that didn't really yeah, you could have maybe read one panel on one page that made an impact on a little bit of an impact on the whole story, but you're wasting your time. There's not enough life to go around to be able to do all that.
I do that to a degree because, like with the X-Men stuff, I'm reading every single book.
Yeah,
and I'm almost
hard, right?
caught up. I'm almost there.
Too much of your life where you're like, I have other stuff I want to do.
Yeah,
and read.
Yep.
So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, that was a big tangent there.
No, it's all right.
But pertinent. Let's just finish off the card. We already touched on Drew and CM.
Yeah.
Punk finished it off with Solo versus Cody.
For a Bloodline rules match, the Bloodline didn't get very involved until the very end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was disappointed though when they showed Arn Anderson. He didn't do the pull out the gun like he did in AEW.
I just want to see Thor. Just Thor. That's all I ever want to see him do is hold it before. Because I guess they did a 4 horseman thing in the when it was Flair and Randy. It was Flair, Randy, Bautista, and somebody else, right?
Triple H, but they were called Evolution. They weren't the Horsemen.
But that was their version of it. It's kind of what it reminded me of. If you've got Flair in there, it's just basically his WWE version of Horseman, I guess, right?
They did do the 4 horsewoman with Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting faction right there. Those they don't seem like they'd ever get along ever.
They all came up together in NXT though.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But regardless, it was okay.
Yeah.
Solo did okay. He's not a champion. He's not.
No, but he's come a long way from being Roman Reigns' enforcer to the tribal chief stand-in.
I don't see it. You might see something I don't. I just don't see it. He's just not my guy. If they want to give the belt to now that Jacob Fatu, now that guy,
he's a beast.
He's a beast.
He
athletic too.
He had that injury in the match where he did something with his leg when he slammed Cody through the table.
Someone said that's work.
It was.
Okay.
Because they didn't want him and Roman interacting.
Okay.
So if he's out injured on the side, that sets up a future story.
Okay. Because I guess is Roman back? Or is he officially back, or we just got the glimpse? Did he show up on Raw?
No, but he's on SmackDown tomorrow.
Oh God, he's gonna be on. Because that's where the Bloodline is.
Yep.
So, that's what makes me sad. I'd love to go get a library where I could watch The Shield and get caught up on, because I missed all Roman's career. I missed Cena's career. I missed Roman's career. I missed Randy's career. I didn't keep up with it. And that's probably 15 years worth of wrestling right there.
Oh yeah,
easily. Right?
Easily.
So, yeah.
I mean, you probably missed all of the Bautista stuff too.
Oh yeah, I never saw him. My favorite. Sorry, it makes me laugh just thinking about it. There's a bump he does where it's so bad, it's a botched bump. Do you know the bump I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
I don't know what happened, but he flung himself backwards after some guy completely missed him though. Or I don't remember what it is, but always, whenever you see a clip on YouTube with the worst bumps or worst botched moves or something like that, it's always on there every single time.
There was that, and there was the Royal Rumble. I don't remember if he was supposed to win it or not, but they both fell onto the ring and they touched at the same time, so they had to restart it and end it.
Oh, whoops.
So the best thing that people don't remember about him is he started out in a faction with Devon Dudley, and Devon Dudley was Reverend Devon. Okay. And he was Deacon Dave.
That's awesome. Well, where's Bubba?
They were in solo runs at that time. Dude,
come on. That's a tag team you can't ever take apart.
No.
Man, I'll tell you what. Here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think FTR would ever come back to WWE?
No. There was talks of it when Triple H kind of took over.
Yeah.
But I think they got jerked around so much that they're just like, no, we'll stick with this.
Yeah. Okay. I just think if you want to talk about great tag teams, I think they're still my pick for the best. They're the best of the best right now.
Yeah.
Still. I mean, I can't think of a tag team in WWE right now that could hold a light to him. Now, mind you, Awesome Truth makes me laugh the most.
Yes.
Because Awesome Truth is hilarious.
Oh, I know.
He's so ridiculous. Just makes me laugh though. But name a tag team. Name a tag team in WWE that can hold a light to him.
Well, WWE just doesn't pay attention to the tag division at all.
They don't.
And so that's making me nervous because the new rumor is Lucha Brothers are going there. Their contract's almost up, and it sounds like they're pretty much going to WWE.
They'll never get any play. The tag division. You just had a pay-per-view with no tag team match.
Yep.
When does that ever happen?
That's why Mercedes Moné is in AEW right now, because they wouldn't do women's tag team, and she was the champion with Naomi, and they didn't like the direction they were headed, so they said, hey, we're going to sit out the rest of our contract.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's a decision.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's a decision that they made, so.
Yeah. But I think if Lucha Brothers go there and Motor City Machine Guns from Impact go there, that might revitalize things.
Here's something I'm reading right now, because I pulled up Reddit that had a picture of the card. And here, I want to give you the stat here, if it's even a stat.
Yeah.
6 single title matches and only 1 with any kind of stipulation. I like it, but it's also a little odd that 80% of the main roster is not wrestling on their second biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
That's interesting,
yeah.
Right? Is the roster too big? We've never gone through their roster. That's WWE. It's a huge roster.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you're supporting 2 big shows, plus you got all the live shows that don't get play. Right?
Yeah, yeah, and they've cut back on live shows, but they're still doing a lot more than AEW does, and that's why some wrestlers are sticking with AEW instead of going back to WWE.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
6 single title matches, 80% of the main roster was, because I think about Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Which he grew on me pretty quick. He's a great heel. I like him. He's a good heel. He's got the Kurt Angle thing going.
He really does.
Ride his coattails, why not? He does it well. I'm trying to think of who else that's pretty big. Okay, so let's.
So you have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens that show up in a match.
They show up, yeah. They just showed up, but didn't actually do anything. So, yep, got you there.
Those are 2 guys that should be. Let's see, who else? I mean, all your tag teams are out. So, like, DIY and whatever, Austin Theory and his partner.
Austin Theory came in for a hot second there.
Yeah.
Miz didn't perform. I mean, they were there, but they didn't perform.
They were hosting.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to pull up a list here just to kind of get a glimpse of. Let's see. Who didn't? Dragunov. Finn, and JD McDonough. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Unholy Union. That they're a decent women's tag team. They're not awful. That's NXT. I just want to. How do I get to see? Oh, they're only showing just the champions.
Okay.
Oh, here, I'll click on Superstars. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Let's see. Andrade is not a main carder though.
He's got their speed title that he only defends on short matches on Twitter.
Oh, that's right.
But still, I mean, you don't have Carmella Hayes. You had nobody from LWO.
Oh, Rey Mysterio. Yeah, Rey didn't do anything. Yep. Jey Uso. Nothing from Jey.
No.
Who else? I mean, Ricochet's done. He's going to AEW, right? So
yeah, he's done.
Okay. This is awful. Let me go to Wikipedia or something. Their list here is awful.
Yeah. At least AEW has them on the website.
Yeah. Let's see. I think this is the most current main roster. Let's see here. Big Bronson Reed. I like his work.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a big fan.
Yeah. He was Jonah in New Japan. Awesome stuff.
He's main roster, but I don't like him that much. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's his name? Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of any of that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
New Day wasn't on there.
New Day, yep. Kofi Kingston. Let's see. I don't know what's going on with this Pete Dunne thing. Razor, I don't know how you feel about
Pete
Razor.
Dunne is like showing up with Sheamus, who he's kind of feuding with.
Sheamus.
But Pete Dunne's also showing up on NXT, and that's a big thing too. Is you'll see one week they'll be up at WWE, next week they're down at NXT, kind of just putting people over.
Uncle Howdy and the White Six, they weren't there at all.
But they're doing the slow burn with them, so I kind of get that.
Okay, so here we go. As far as women's, Alba Fire, Dakota Kai, Isla Dawn, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Caden Carter, Kiana James, Lyra Valkyria wasn't there. Otis didn't wrestle. I mean, I think he was there. He did a Manscaped commercial that made me feel really uncomfortable.
Oh, yes, that was weird.
You saw that. Let's see here. Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark. I can't stand the Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
Yeah, but he hasn't been on for a little bit though.
Let's see. Well, Bobby Lashley. I don't think Bobby Lashley does anything. He's inactive, right?
His contract just expired.
Okay. Let's see here. We said Kevin. I mean, Roman showed up. Bianca Belair. You didn't see Bianca.
Or Jade.
Chelsea Green.
Which, I mean, Naomi, they need to utilize her. They need to utilize Chelsea Green more. I saw there was a clip today that popped up from her in Lucha Underground. It was her versus Penta.
Mm-hmm.
And it was unreal, the stuff she was pulling off and the stuff she was selling.
Really?
Yeah. Doing like a Canadian destroyer from the ring apron out to the floor.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. She'd jump from the top rope and do a head scissor takeover on the floor.
Okay. Question for you.
Yeah.
I know we both are pulling for him because we know him. We know him from the vlogs, and the vlogs show you who he is as a real guy, I think, for the most part. Do you think Ethan Page will ever make the main roster?
I think he will, but I think he's going to get lost in the shuffle.
What is it that won't put it? Is it from an athletic standpoint, he's big. He's big enough.
Yeah.
He's got the right look.
Yeah.
Right? Mike's skills are off the chart. I think his mic skills are off the chart. He could do face or heel. He could pull off both.
Yeah. Truthfully,
is it his moveset?
I've never seen him as a face in wrestling. He's always been a heel. He very easily could. I mean, I've met him. Will and I went and talked to him at that AEW or at the Glory Pro show that he was at. Mm-hmm. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
He talked to Will and was awesome with him. And then you see him on TV and he's like polar opposite.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it is.
I think it's a moveset. That's why I didn't get your take on it. What do you think?
I don't know.
Boring. I think sometimes he's boring in the ring.
Yeah.
He's athletic enough to do more stuff, I think.
Yeah.
He's not a Hogan, we'll say American Hogan. Because I know the Japan stuff, right?
Yeah.
But
so I think part of the problem too might have been he was a bigger guy when he was back in Impact before he went to AEW. He's lost weight and he got in shape.
Okay.
And so I don't know if his skill set has caught up to where his body is.
Okay. I just don't know what it is.
I mean, he was a tag
guy I pull for, and I want to see him be successful. I just don't know if I know he's got the NXT championship, which that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a cool thing to do. And I think he can carry it well. I haven't been watching, but I think he'll do okay with it. My point is, he's not. How young is he? Or is he getting kind of older now?
He's probably mid-30s.
Okay. My point is, I hope is his time past? Is what I'm trying to get at. Is it too late? And is he destined for a mid-card, low-card?
He's 34. I think mid-card. If he makes it to the WWE roster, he's an intercontinental champion guy.
He's not your heavyweight or whatever. Because what are their belts? What are their belts? You got the universe. Is there still a universal champion?
Yeah, that's what Cody has.
So Cody's universal. There's heavyweight, right?
No, world champion. That's Gunther.
World heavyweight. Okay, so you got no. Sorry, it's not universal anymore. Okay. Undisputed. Cody's the undisputed WWE champion.
Okay.
There's the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Women's world champion. WWE Women's Champion, Intercontinental United States Champion, and Speed Champion.
Yeah.
They renamed their belt there a little bit because I thought Universal was Brock's thing, right?
I think it was for a while with Roman too.
Okay. And then here, NXT, Roxanne Perez, will she make the main roster?
I think she could. I watched her a lot in Ring of Honor back before they folded and Tony Khan bought them.
Okay.
She was young. She's like 23.
Oba Femi, he looks big enough. He looks the part.
I've never seen him wrestle a match though. Well, no, I've seen one match.
I seen one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one match. He's big. He's a big dude. I don't know anything about Kalani Jordan.
That was just a title they introduced.
Okay. Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Yeah, they were solid. They wrestled the Rascals this week. It was a good match.
Tony D'Angelo.
I don't know much about him. I saw him wrestle once, I think. Okay. He's got kind of the mob family faction going on.
Oh, here I got something to load that adds on even more people. These look like a lot of inactive people too.
Yeah, they keep a lot of the legends.
Imagine Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar.
God.
That would be a pretty good matchup, right?
Yeah. So Braun got a good push in the Royal Rumble. That was supposed to be Brock's.
Oh, okay.
That was right when all the Vince McMahon allegations came out.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent ones, where one of the superstars had his contract expired and was offered that woman.
Mm-hmm.
That was Brock.
Mm.
And so they pulled him off. They told him not to come and put Braun in that spot.
Okay. So I'm going to assume Brock is done.
Probably.
He's done. Okay. You're a Dragon League guy, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, he's a great luchador. It's just WWE doesn't really know what to do with luchadors outside of Ray.
Elton Prince. Is Elton Prince their Dalton Knight or whatever his name is?
Dalton Castle.
Yeah, is that their Dalton Castle? Is Elton Prince?
I don't know. Dalton Castle is a
I'm looking
gem.
at the picture and wow. Oh, dude, there's this guy named Eric with a K. He looks like a Viking. He looks pretty cool.
Is it Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowan?
He looks like he's got a big old beard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the Wyatt Six.
Oh, he is. Okay.
He's the one that was part of the Wyatt family.
Okay.
And he cut a promo. He did one of those videos a few weeks ago where he was almost to the point of bawling while talking, and it was just crushing to see. Because when Brody Lee passed, he was on that tribute show. He was an AEW wrestler. They brought him in for it.
Yeah.
And just watching him on that was rough.
Brian Pillman's kid just can't do it.
No, I don't think so either.
He just doesn't have it.
No.
I would say good on him for trying.
Yeah.
Maybe he loves the business. Maybe he'll just have to find his behind the scenes part of the business that he loves, kind of thing.
I don't think it helped in AEW being the Varsity Blondes.
Yeah.
Taking on like his dad's persona.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's part of the reason why he's Lexus King instead of a Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, trying to make that separation.
Yeah.
Sean Spears will never make it.
No, but he's good at what he does.
Yeah, he's going to be good at training.
Yeah.
I think that's where that's where he needs to be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure what is it about Trick?
He's got a pretty good moveset. He's acrobatic.
You got a picture of Joe Hendry on their site. Is Joe Hendry under contract now?
No, he's still TNA, but I mean he's there every week at this point. He had a match this past week.
What's TNA think about it, I guess? Is he trying to be loyal to him as long as he can?
They're working back and forth. They've got some kind of working agreement now.
Wow.
Because the Rascals are under TNA contract too.
I hope they don't miss the Joe Hendry bus, because that's going to last for a while. And it always does.
Yeah.
How long will it? Do we already miss it? Has it already passed?
I don't think so. I think we're right in the height of it.
Okay.
But I see him as a very Danhausen-like character where he gets really big.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think people are going to forget about him.
Yeah, yeah.
But part of the problem with Danhausen was getting injured twice.
Yeah. Here's what I would book right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would book it. I don't know if it needs a big build up to a story. And I don't know if I guess it's hard to do face versus face, right? It is hard. It's not easy. AEW does it a lot just to show a good wrestling match, right? Maybe a Cody versus Joe. And and here's what I would call it. I call it like a face-off. Who's the biggest face in the company?
Yeah,
I think who gets over. Who's more over, Cody or Joe? And see, and maybe try to work to that. I don't have a good enough wrestling writing brain yet to do that, but that's where I'm like, you got to capitalize on it. You got to capitalize now, because if you want to bring in money, right? Because it's all about money. If the business is making money, you're missing out on making money with this guy.
Yeah. So when Cody had the TNT title in AEW, he had an open challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Kingston put a promo together on the indies that Cody ended up seeing and invited him in. If you do something similar like that, I think it could work.
Okay. I just think you get him at a bigger pay-per-view, though.
Oh, yeah.
And you get a crowd, outdoor crowd. Have him do his entrance and have 100,000 people, or 80, whatever. Name your crowd size. Believing in Joe Hendry.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
I mean, you hear the crowd just screaming, "I believe!" I mean, because these NXT crowds there's like 20 people in there, dude. It's a house show. It's like when we go to watch an indie show. It's so small.
Speaking of, when they move to CW or whatever the new station is, the second show is in St. Louis.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm tempted.
Where's that?
I don't know. Maybe Kill Center or whatever.
Whatever it is now.
Whatever Slew plays. Chaffetz. Yeah,
Chaffetz. Okay.
I could see that being
That's still too big, I guess, because if they keep it small like they have it, that's way too big. The pageant's way too small.
I think they'll try to capitalize on, hey, we're touring now with NXT. People come.
Where would I put an NXT match that's not big enough for Chaffetz, but too big for a small place? Where would I put them?
I don't really.
Where could I put them outside? Where can I put them outside?
Outside's going to be tough because
we'll put them over at Pop's parking lot.
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything, to be honest with you, unless there's anything I missed that you'd want to, from a wrestling standpoint, because it's been super wrestling heavy, but we haven't touched base on that in a little while. So,
yeah. Touching on Ego again real quick. Sure. He kind of bashed AEW now that he's in NXT. Talking about how, like, there was no structure to it. And I saw somewhere someone saying it's kind of funny how he can go to AEW and struggle, but thrive in NXT, where he's got writers doing it for him, and it's more scripted than AEW, where they kind of leave it to the wrestlers to work with producers and come up with it. Where the polar opposite was Swerve Strickland, where he got kind of buried in WWE, but he goes to AEW and he has freedom to do what he wants. And it just makes, if you look at the business as a whole, you're going to be on one of the two sides of it. And it's pretty remarkable how one wrestler can be so different from another that way. I just find that fascinating because I guess people don't.
I mean, think about it from this standpoint. It's like sports. You got a ball player, baseball.
Yeah.
It just didn't work with that team. Finds a new team, all of a sudden it works. It's all sports. It kind of works. Sometimes you just need a fresh start in someplace different.
Even acting, where you have more of those improv actors that can do things on the fly, not worry about what the script says, and they can just kind of go off and do their own thing, and it works. Like Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man. Yeah. They did so much ad hoc stuff on the set that it just kind of worked, where not every actor can do that.
Yeah, no,
it's just an interesting.
It's an interesting point to make.
Yeah,
because some people are just that fit. I mean, just think about Sting. He worked in WC. It just worked. Bringing him over to WWE just would never have made any sense. He was at home in WCW. It just worked for him there.
It's just an interesting aspect of the sport that people don't really think about, because you either got the hardcores that are just die hard into it, or you have the people that are outside looking at it and saying, like, this is so stupid. Well, there's an art to it. So, and then
you're absolutely right.
Other thing, I think there's a spectrum of wrestling. You have on one side the pure technical aspect of it, and then the other end is sports entertainment. So, like, my polar opposites are New Japan being the real technical stuff, and then WWE as the sports entertainment. I think AEW is more to the New Japan side, where they're more focused on good matches and less on the storytelling. And so it's like New Japan, AEW. I'd say Impact is probably in between AEW and WWE, and then like all the indies kind of fit in wherever they can.
Sure. Yeah. It just depends on what you want from the piece of entertainment. No matter what it is, it's all entertainment.
Oh yeah.
It just depends on what you enjoy the most. And I think I lean heavily. Why I think I love kayfabe so much and the story part so much, because I like stories. I like reading. I like movies. I like that part. And of course, the fighting part is fun. I'm always blown away by what these guys can do. And I go, and we've said this multiple times. Go ahead, try to do what they do. See what happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, you can say it's fake, but go ahead, take a bump. See how well you move the next day.
My wife got mad at me because we were watching the gymnastics in the Olympics. And like, I saw Will Ospreay do something like this out of the ring like 3 weeks ago. She's like, oh, they can't do the same type of stuff. I'm like, they're doing the same type of stuff. It's just in a different environment.
On a weekly basis. It's just the humans catching them.
Yeah.
So they cannot hurt themselves. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, yeah, no, it's a good point to make. She shouldn't be too upset about it. They're all really good at what they do. And I'm in awe of people doing amazing things. I do want to move on from wrestling though, because I do want to talk about a few things here.
Okay.
It's speaking of the Olympics, so segue, because we're the master of segues. I sent out that text. I don't know if you were able to flip it on real quick. I don't know if you caught any of the U.S. men's basketball game against Serbia.
I didn't, but I'll probably rewatch it tomorrow.
Only reason I want to bring into the podcast because we're trying to keep it nerd centric, and I know we don't usually do too much sports wise as far as hardcore sports like. But the reason I want to bring it up is because they nicknamed LeBron James is now Le Captain America. They nicknamed him Le Captain America.
Jeez.
And here's the thing: I'm like one of the most anti-LeBron people out there. I'm not a big fan of his game. I can respect what he does as an athlete because he's a freak athlete. He's doing what he does at the size that he is, and he's just a tank. Yeah, I can only imagine seeing him in person, what it would be like, because the guy's shoulders are bigger than my entire body, just about.
Yeah.
Watching him do what he's doing in the Olympics, though, I wish you would see this in the NBA, because you got a guy that if he doesn't want to lose, he's not going to lose, because you can't stop him from what he's doing.
Yeah.
The guy's on a different level, and it was just fun to watch. And it's cool watching all these guys that are such enemies in the NBA when they come together. It's so fun to watch. And it was a hell of a game, and the world's just getting better and better. I'm worried about the France game, to be honest with you. France will give them a hell of a game. If not,
they will.
Because Wemby's a whole different monster.
Yeah.
He is a monster. But it was. I just thought it was pretty funny to mention that I like that nickname, Le Captain America.
It made me groan.
Oh man, it was awesome. But let's see. That's that. There was that. God, what was the other thing I wanted to bring up? Oh, I do have a topic.
Okay.
A small one, I guess. Call it the Reddit thread that caught my eye the most this past week that I thought could lead to an interesting conversation. God darn it. I wish there was a way to go back to finding the threads that you commented on, I guess. It had to do about someone saying, why is Daredevil receive A+ level writing and talent as far as art and writing, but he's never going to be more than a B level character? And I wanted to get your take on that, because I go, what defines a character in comic books as A level, B level, C level, D level? Which, again, I don't think we've ever really discussed how one can become a C level character. I kind of get the B level characters, and I definitely get D level. Like D level to me, even though he might be beloved by some people, like Booster Gold's a D level hero.
Yeah,
he is. And then you go, what is a D level hero? And I go, I don't know, but I also don't know how I could just. How would you say what qualifies you as A level? Other than the fact that, okay, is there something higher than A level? Like, I would put Batman and Superman at a level that's higher than anything over at Marvel. I really would, as far as level, because they are the granddaddy of them all characters. These are the comic book characters.
Maybe Spider-Man with them, but yeah.
I'm talking about from a historic. I mean, you had to wait how many years? Well, 30 years, because Superman's 1930s, I think. Correct? Am I wrong? What year?
39, 41, somewhere in there.
What year was Action Comics #1 written? 1938.
38.
Not bad. Yeah, you're off. So we'll go. Spidey was 1960s, something like that. Correct?
Yeah, something like that.
So about 20-year gap. Talking about 2 decades.
65.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you consider them A-level characters, or do you sort of say no? Don't do that. Don't try to separate those two out. They don't deserve to be separated out. You have A-level, and they're just A-level.
I think they're the top of the A-level.
They're at the top of the. Okay, I get that. That's a good call. Okay. So what makes an A-level character?
Oh God, that's tough.
Right? Because
I mean,
let me see.
You can look at it different ways. I mean, sales. I mean, you look at guys that can carry multiple books. You have Superman, you have Batman, you have Spider-Man.
That's a good point. I like your point there. Multiple books, because Daredevil has never carried multiple books.
No, he's had one, maybe a mini come out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He's had books canceled because of sales before too.
When's the last time he got canceled?
Well, I mean, it was before the Kevin Smith run.
Okay.
He's been consistent ever since then, but is that because Kevin Smith kind of put him back on the map by Kevin Smith writing it?
I'm trying to. If I could find this thread, dude, I should have saved it somehow. I'm sorry. I just thought it was an excellent conversation because someone goes because they were trying to define what makes you A-list, and some guy was like, well, they didn't even mention the multiple books, which is a great point by you.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying book, TV shows, video games. I was like, oh wow, do you have to have a video game to be A-level? But then I thought about it for a second. I mean, Superman has had a video game. Batman definitely has a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Spider-Man definitely has video games, right? So they've all had cartoons. They've all had, multiple books. I mean, let me see if I can find. I really wish I could find this thread, man. Hold on.
But then the question you get into is like, where does a Wolverine fit? Wolverine's he's been in Avengers, X-Men, and his own book at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, people would consider him A-list because of Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think I might have found it. Hold on. Oh, damn it. Did I not find it? Bear with me. Just kill time for a second.
Right.
It was a really interesting discussion where usually these discussions go, no, he sucks. No, he's awesome. And it wasn't that discussion. It was actually people being somewhat decent to one another.
That happens on Reddit?
I know, right? Because I think they're saying that Born Again's a dumb name for the TV show. And then people also asking how many seasons should Daredevil go? Oh, here we go. Found it. Okay. So there's my question to you. How many seasons do you think they should? So, like, for example, is Born Again going to be one season, or is it going to be like, hey, this is part A and this is part B, or something like that, or anything like that?
I think it'll go one season. I mean, they were originally saying, 18 episodes?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I think that's what it originally was going to be, but I mean, they've changed it since then.
Okay, here was the original title of the thread. Recently saw a take that Daredevil has god-tier stories, but is stuck at being a B-level hero. Why do you think that is, and what would have to change for him to reach an A-list? So that's the part. What do we need Daredevil to do to reach A-list? But here you go. A-list, in my opinion, being Spider-Man, Wolverine. This guy that originally posted says Wolverine is A-list.
Yeah.
Which I think I agree. Wolverine's got to be A-list.
Yeah.
He's too popular not to be.
Yeah.
Right? MCU, Avengers, Batman, Superman. I also generally think that it's because a majority of his stories... Okay, he's saying Daredevil is B-level because the majority of his stories are street-level crime fighting as opposed to fighting aliens, gods, multiverse characters. People want big, grand, flashy battles.
So, but then that kind of strikes down Batman's solo title.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he fights multiverse and aliens and stuff in the occasional miniseries and with the Justice League, but his book is a ground-level book.
Because then here he goes, the reason he's B-level is because he hasn't had that many TV shows. He's had the one TV show. He's had the one failed movie, right?
Yeah.
I can't think he's the only one failed movie. And a video game, he's never had a video game made about him. I was like,
I'm sorry.
If you could do a Batman video game, you could definitely make a Daredevil video game.
And they're neglecting the fact he was a character in the Incredible Hulk TV series.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I think he was in just a black costume, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then this guy, I think he's making his way up the ranks for comics, multiple critically acclaimed runs, a consistent track record, 2 crossover events themed around him. I was like,
Well,
there was Shadowland, and I'm trying to think of the other crossover event centered around Daredevil.
The most recent one was a gang. No, not Gang War, but he had a recent one, the Zdarsky run.
Don't, no spoilers.
Okay.
I can't. There's nothing in comic books I'm looking forward to. I might even just buy his entire run. Is the Zdarsky run shelf worthy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. My worry is I'm so hyped up for it that's going to never live up to expectations, to be honest with you.
The safest thing to do is get it from the library and then go back and buy it.
Let's see. I'm reading Zdarsky's run for the first time at the moment, and holy moly. I love that. The holy moly.
Yeah.
You don't get a good holy moly that much anymore. And then let's see. I preface by saying I'm happy with Daredevil as a B-list hero and would prefer he stay that way. I think his status is in combination of his scope, the street-level hero, his strength, his power is fairly limited, and he's not immortal in his personal beliefs. He's extremely conflicted individual and a loner for the most part. They wanted to say that he's Catholic, but they won't put that in there, I guess. Which I wonder if that hurts him in certain ways, versus to me, it's what makes him one of the best draws in a book ever because of the conflict of his faith. His faith probably plays into a lot of his decisions.
Oh, yeah.
I think it makes him an interesting character, especially in 2024.
Yeah.
Especially in 2024.
I mean, it goes back to the DC versus Marvel thing where the Marvel characters are a lot more grounded. And that's, I mean, that's a key thing in Daredevil's story.
There you go. On the other hand, he's such a singular character, he's better suited to television, especially the modern era, which is full of character-driven dramas that don't rely on spectacle of A-list examples. Daredevil is better as a subtle vehicle for stories about temptation, justice, and redemption, not a vehicle for fighting robots over Manhattan or across the multiverse. It's like I said, this was like one of those, look how well written that response is.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
And, I mean, it really ties into how he was in the Marvel universe with Netflix, because, I mean, they talked about the Battle of Manhattan. You saw the effects of it, but you didn't see him as part of it.
Yeah. And then I guess this is the second part of the question. It goes, because again, we'll get to that part of the discussion. If you wanted to elevate Daredevil, you'd have to fundamentally change what makes him so interesting. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I believe it'd be difficult for most Hollywood writers to do. And could we expand his scope and make him a James Bond, John Wick-style globe-trotting vigilante? Could we grant him new powers, affording him the silver screen wow factor? Could we build a pantheon of supporting characters around him that make people want to see sequels and tie-ins? I mean, this is going. I don't want to read a whole article for our podcast, but you can see where I'm going with this. That's that might just be a podcast in of itself. Trying to go, you have to do the workshop exercise of saying, how do you take Daredevil, he's so extremely popular in the comic community.
Yeah,
I think he's even more popular in the writing and artist community for some reason. I don't know what it is, and I think that's a great question to ask. What is it about that character that he's so beloved by the writers and the artists that they would give him a shot and they'll take Daredevil all day long? They would love to work on Daredevil.
Because his stories aren't the typical superhero beat 'em up type. Because if you think about the two biggest runs of the last 20 years, Bendis and Brubaker, I mean, they were both more noir than superhero.
No, you're right.
It allows a writer to flex a different muscle than what they do in traditional comic books.
And then as far as the supporting characters, I guess that's just niche. Because, again, if you love Daredevil, you love Foggy.
Oh, yeah.
You care about what happens to Foggy. You care about what happens to Karen.
Yeah.
You care about what happens...
I mean you can pull
about his dad. You care about his dad. You care about the thing with his mom. You know,
or you pull in Stick and Elektra, or depending on what way you want to go with the character. I mean,
I just wish that you could get comic book writers talking about him and why they're drawn to him. And I guess so. That's the part of the question I'd love to get your take on. Being as versed in comics as you are for as long as you have, what would it take? What would you have to change about Daredevil for him to be moved to A-list for you? Or is it just that's a dumb question? You can't ask that question to me because in my mind, you're not going to change my mind. He's A-list. He's A character for me.
Yeah.
Personally, is that impossible to like? I don't know where you place him. Do you place him as an A-list character? Is he a B or D level? He's not D level. I don't think you'd ever say that about him. Or would you?
No, I wouldn't say he's D level. Maybe at one point, maybe before the Kevin Smith era.
Okay.
Because I
Even
think
with the Frank Miller stuff.
Between Frank Miller and Kevin Smith, the character I think got kind of stagnant, and no one knew really what to do with him.
Okay.
It's Bendis that's really the one that saved him.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith
which that was another interesting thing I read recently. Going, what is going on with writers that just are flaming out? That just they have this apex, they just are at the top of the world, and all of a sudden, what the hell happened?
They
they were must read.
I think I've said this in the past. They take on too much, and their ideas get too big for what they can do.
Yeah.
I mean, Bendis, Jason Aaron's was that way with the Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's taken a lot, and I think that hurts. I think when they get to that point, they need to kind of go, okay, I need to finish out my contract, or maybe talk to them about revising my contract some kind, and then I need to go do my own creator-owned and try to recalibrate, I think would be the word to say.
Yeah, because, I mean, Jeff Johns, to a degree, was that way, too.
Well, he was writing a lot, too.
He was.
He was the savior. He was like, I'll take these B-level characters. I'll take a Green Lantern that's not as popular. I'll take a Flash that's not as popular. And then all of a sudden, I'll boom, out of nowhere, make these guys awesome.
And
take your Blue Beetle, take your Booster Gold, and I'll put a story out there that people will love. I'll just have that.
And that was Bendis from Marvel, because, I mean, he did that with Daredevil, and then he went to New Avengers, and people started caring about Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I mean, Sentry was just a kind of a side project for Paul Jenkins that all of a sudden he's an Avenger.
So, okay, if let's just for material's sake of creating a podcast, what would you say? Let's say you do have the opinion that Daredevil's he's a B list, he's B level. What would you change about him to make him A list?
I don't know. That's the problem. I love the B-list characters more than the A-list most of the time. I mean, yeah, I read a lot of Wolverine, Deadpool, and Batman. But, like, you ask me some of my favorite characters, I'll say Tim Drake Robin or Cannonball from the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I like those second-tier characters. I was always a huge Hawkeye fan. I have his 80s 4-issue miniseries that is just horrible, but I was just such a big fan of it when I got it.
Yeah.
So I've always liked those B-list characters that maybe don't necessarily sell enough to have their own title, or they could have their own title, but they're at the lower end of the sales. Those have always been my favorite type of characters.
So you're saying my love for Kilowog and Mojo Planet, they can't get their own book? God, I love a planet that can shoot big, huge green laser beams. There's something about a planet that can shoot a giant green laser beam that just does it for me, dude. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
It's when they turn the villain into a cloud, it becomes an issue.
Okay, Cloud's bad, but big, giant, looking like a pool ball, because it looks like a pool ball is what I always say.
Yeah,
not a cue ball, but a pool ball. The green pool ball is what Mojo looks like to me. And boom, shoot a big green laser. He's awesome. So I think you're right. I think you go, you know what? He's not A-list, but damn, he's the best of the B.
Oh yeah,
he's the best of the B that you can get. And either you're like me, where he's the best part of a movie that he's in for 5 seconds, or best part of a TV show that he's in for 5 seconds, just because you love him so much.
Yeah,
No, you're not wrong. I just thought it was an interesting little conversation to have there about that. And could you do that and think about that from let's just use let's find a D-list character, Squirrel Girl. Could you ever make her A-list?
Ugh.
See, I don't think you can. I don't. Is it possible to have a D-level character go A-list?
I think so, but I think it's the demographic that you're trying to hit. I mean, we're 40-year-old guys that have been reading comics for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you market Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel to teenage girls, all of a sudden you're going to have an A-list book, because you're drawing in an audience that traditionally hasn't been big in comics.
I guess I would add this definition for an A-list character. You need to be known by the general public.
Yes.
For a non-comic book reader.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned Batman, Superman to someone that has never read a Batman or Superman comic. They go, of course, I've heard of Batman and Superman. They're part of the zeitgeist, right? Daredevil, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Except if you're our wives, or when you're in the movie theater and you're the only guy that pretty much yells and screams when Daredevil shows up. No way. This is the favorite part of my movie. I want this to happen the whole movie. Just leave him on the screen with him. They can just talk at the dinner table the whole time.
See, that's the problem with me is anytime any character unexpectedly shows up, I'm that guy.
Yeah. Right.
Wolverine on a crucifix?
Yes. My life is complete now.
I think when they went through the whole montage of different Wolverines, my jaw was just dropped the whole time.
Right. And then I think what sucks for us is that as we keep getting older and older, we got to keep saying, this was the Kevin Smith thing. I just got to live long enough to see this next thing happen.
Yep.
And this next thing, and this next thing. Because I'm like, I think I'm going to live long enough to see the Fantastic Four hit the MCU. So I'll be good there. I'll make sure I make that.
Yeah.
Now I think we're really at that part, Jay. Where's the next thing we have to make sure we live long enough for to see the X-Men in the MCU? That's the next thing we got to make.
Yeah.
So we live long enough. I got to live long enough to see my Daredevil show come out.
Yeah.
Now that the MCU is all over, it's going over to Disney.
I got to live long enough to see the Calvary.
We can just dream, Jay. We'll dream. Who knows who they'll cast for that? That'll be fun.
I know.
This is what the old Wizard days of the fan cast or the cast speculations. That's what was always fun.
Yeah.
I don't have that anymore. But okay. That was the only couple of topics I had there. Did you have any actual topics, or did you want to move on to homework?
No, I got a few homework things, not too much.
Oh, can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
Do you have on your laptop? Can you pull up a website?
Yeah.
ARKADIN. Just type that into Google. Have you ever heard of this place?
No.
The Arcadin. Have you ever heard of a micro cinema and bar?
No, I have not.
It's here in St. Louis.
Okay.
It's down in off of Gravois. I think is where it was at. But I don't know if this is Gravois as in, close to South County Gravois, or is this as in I think there's a part of Gravois that is actually down in the city. I don't know. I think it's 30 though. I think it's the Gravois that we're familiar with.
Yeah. And
I need you to go to, oh God, where was it? Let me go back one. God damn it, you're gonna have to find it on the website. I had to dig a little bit on this website.
Yeah.
If you go into the Arcadian Cinema,
yep,
you'll see where it has Drinkless Cage. Tell me if you find it. There's a picture of you could purchase tickets, Club Arcadian membership, and Drinkless Cage. See if you can find that page. Type this in. Type in
I found it. I found it.
.square.site.
Yep.
Then click on Drinkless Cage.
Yeah.
Now I want you to first try to get that image of a beer glass with Nicolas Cage's face out of your head. You're never going to get rid of that out of your head.
They have shirts. I want one.
They do. They do have shirts, dude. I think they're limited and I think they cost a lot. But I also want you to look into what Drinkless Cage is.
Okay.
Click on Drinkless Cage.
Yeah.
Then scroll down to where it gives you the description of what Drinkless Cage is. Or I will read. Did you find it?
I'm on it. Maybe the pass.
You have to scroll down. I think you might be like it's the red picture. You click on the red picture. But let me just read it to you. I can't. I'm too excited.
Okay.
Drinkless Cage is our monthly surprise Nick Cage movie drinking game event. Each month we select a Cage film and write a drinking game for you to play along with. There are 2 show times, 6:30 and 9 p.m. Weather permitting, the late show will be outdoors from April through October. We sell out. Try arriving an hour before showtime to get on the wait list. There's a wait list for Drinkless Cage nights. Jay, there's a micro cinema, so it's basically one house. It's like it almost looks like it would be at someone's house.
Yeah.
But you don't know what Nick Cage movie you're going to see, but you have to play the drinking game. So I'm going to assume that, hey, if Nick Cage does whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's whatever. You have to drink every time Nick Cage says "whoa" or something. Like if you were to do the Keanu style, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what Nick Cage euphemism you'd have to use to. Okay, I gotta drink. Gotta take a drink. Jay, I could not think of a better thing for you to do with your time. I thought you would love this. I think the T-shirt is they are $20 to $25. They're
Yes.
low stock, but they have them. I think that T-shirt must be owned by you immediately.
Oh my God, August 28th. The next one's on a Wednesday night.
Oh yeah, they're on weird nights, dude. Yeah, this is for people that don't have kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely for people that don't have kids. Or
I need the weekend one.
I know, right? The first thing I thought of is that. Oh, stop it, Siri. I said, I don't think there's one like thing that you would enjoy more in your life at certain points than a good random Nick Cage. You don't know what you're gonna see. But you're gonna get a Nick Cage movie, and you're gonna drink while you're doing it with other people that love Nick Cage as much as you do.
All right, a large shirt is $20. You have to pick it up there, though.
Yeah, all the way down there. That's what sucks. I'm sure you could probably reach out to him and go, "Hey, if I pay you to ship it, would you ship it to me?" You just have to call him.
Oh, I would drive there for this.
Oh, really? Nice. I would love to check this out. Like, I didn't know if you go ahead and take a look at their If you click on the purchase tickets, just look at their movies that they're showing. They're showing some, just like for example, they're showing a silent Buster Keaton movie called The General. I've never heard of it.
I've heard of The General. It's a good movie. I saw it for a film class.
Like they're showing Mad Max 2, not Mad Max, Mad Max 2, Raising Arizona, which that's awesome. Go see that. Their movie selection is just weird. Like I never heard of Steven Spielberg's Duel. There's a movie called Steven Spielberg's Duel. It looks like Maximum Override is what it is. But check this out. They do Uncle Buck pancake breakfast screening. You go in the morning and you eat pancakes while you're watching Uncle Buck.
That is amazing.
This place is awesome.
Oh yeah, we got to check it out.
It's incredible. It looks so cool, man. And they show just weird. And then check this out. They have what's called what's it called? VHS Wednesdays or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta find it wherever that was.
Yeah, admission 1 VHS tape.
What you do is you bring a VHS tape, and you get in for free because they just want you to buy the beer, the booze, and the concessions, and they'll pick the best tape, and you don't even have a clue what you're going to watch that night. How amazing would that be? You might get one of the greatest comedies ever that you've never seen, or you're going to get some weird shit that you didn't sign up for. That's for damn sure.
This place sounds amazing.
And ask me how I heard of it. Random thread on Reddit, where some guys just goes, the guy I used to go watch movies with every week, he moved away. I need a new movie watching buddy. Anybody want to go with me? And I looked at it because it said something about he's going to go see The General at the arcade. And I was like, I've never heard of this place.
Yeah.
So I brought it up. I've never heard of a micro cinema. It looks like the coolest way to see a movie in regards to if someone were going to come and do a Q&A afterwards, something like that.
Yeah.
Super, super personal. And they're doing basically Mystery Science Theater style, where they're bringing a stand-up comedian to basically talk through the movie and like just make jokes throughout the whole movie. So live, you get to watch all that live. I was like, dude.
They had a happy hour on the 2nd from 5 to 6:30 where they played Ren and Stimpy.
See, that's what I'm talking about. This place sounds awesome.
It
That's
does.
all I got for you, dude.
We'll have to check it out.
And I figured that T-shirt, dude, would have to be in your collection. That beer thing looks hilarious. So there you go. Sorry, long-winded way of saying, look at this cool T-shirt.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm leaving that pulled up, and I might be running there tomorrow at lunchtime.
That's awesome. That's hilarious, dude. That's far away, man. That's down south.
It is. For that shirt, though, it's worth it.
It's worth the drive. So, all right, man. I wanted to share that with you. As far as homework, what do you got?
I don't have much. We could just save it for next week. We've gone long, so.
Okay. No, I got you. Yeah. Can I give you one recommendation, though?
Yeah.
Just because I want to hear your thoughts on the book. I don't know if you've already read it or not. The Joker, Volume 1 is what I read recently. It's James Tynion's Joker.
Okay. I've not read it. Okay.
I won't say anything. I'll ruin if I say anything. So read it. Give me your thoughts.
Okay.
We'll end it that way. Okay?
Yep.
All right, man. Good catching up. I'll talk to you.
See you.
All right, see you.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on social media at Nyrdcast. It's NYRDCAST, and at our website, nerdcast.com. Be sure to rate and review the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. This week's featured track is Where's the Calvary by Precursor.